Hello everyone! Welcome back to part 2 of the Changing Outcomes in Blockly activity. By the end of this activity, you'll be able to change the outcome of a code by adding and modifying blocks. Before we start, make sure that you have your KINI robot and that it is connected to the internet. Open the KINI app and go to the Blockly tab by clicking the button in the bottom right corner. When you're in the Blockly tab, you'll see the 2 repeat blocks that we learned how to use in previous videos. If you've never used Blockly before, I recommend that you watch the Introduction to Blockly video before this one. Also, this is the second part of the Changing Outcomes in Blockly activity, so I encourage you to watch the first part before this one. To start this part, we're going to talk about how changing a single block impacts the final outcome. To start, we'll choose an initial outcome and then write the code to make that outcome happen, like we talked about at the end of the last video. For this example, let's say that we want the outcome to be that KINI will move forward and to the right of where it started. To get this result, I can make KINI move forward for 20 centimeters using the block in the orange KINI tab. I'll snap that into place in the repeat once block. I can then go back to the same tab and get the rotate right for 1 second block and attach that one as well. Finally, I'll go back to the orange KINI tab and get the move forward for 1 second block and snap it into place. You can run this code on your KINI by pressing the orange play button and stop it by once again pressing the red stop button. This sequence tells us that KINI will first move forward for 20 centimeters, then rotate or turn right for 1 second, and then move forward for 1 second. This sequence tells us that we will accomplish our final outcome of moving KINI forward and to the right. You can see this if you check the description of this video to see the drawing of KINI's movements, or you can try drawing it out yourself to see that we'll get the outcome that we wanted. KINI in this example moves forward and then rotates and moves forward towards the right. But what if we wanted the final outcome to be that KINI will move forward and to the left? To change the outcome of this code, we can break up this code into smaller pieces by going block by block. We'll evaluate what each piece does and then determine which one we need to change to make KINI go left instead of right. Before I go into the explanation, make a guess about which block you think needs to be changed to make KINI go left instead of right. The first piece of the code is move forwards for 20 centimeters. If we want KINI to move forward and then to the left, does this have to change? No. If you made a drawing or look at the drawing that we've made, this block only makes KINI move forwards from where it starts, which we still want to move forward and to the left. So we leave this block as it is. The second piece of the code is rotate right for 1 second. If we want KINI to move forwards and then to the left, does this have to change? Yes, if you guess that the rotate right block has to change, then you'd be correct. If you look at the drawing of this situation, this block is the action that makes KINI go to the right, which we don't want. So what can we do to change this block and in turn change the outcome? We need to change this block to a rotate left for 1 second block instead of a rotate right for 1 second block. I'll go back to the orange KINI tab and conveniently there is a rotate left for 1 second block. Now all I need to do is take this piece of code out of the code, delete it by dragging it to the trash can, and drag in the new block. This new block tells us that KINI will go to the left instead of the right, which helps us accomplish our new outcome. The last piece of the code is move forwards for 1 second. If we want KINI to move forward and to the left, does this have to change? No. Once again, if you look at the drawing or try drawing this yourself, this block only makes KINI move forwards in the direction that it turned, which is exactly what we want. So our new code tells us KINI will move forward for 20 centimeters, turn left for 1 second, and then move forward again for 1 second. The outcome of this code is moving forwards and to the left of the starting point, which is what we wanted. All we did to change the code was change the turn right block to a turn left block. This may seem like a very small change, but it changed the entire outcome of our code. If you make the new drawing of this code, you'll see that KINI moves forward and then to the left, just like we wanted. You can see that every detail in coding matters because just one block changed impacts the entire code. Congratulations, everyone! You just learned how to change an outcome by modifying and adding blocks. Since the outcome of a code can change with just one block, it's always a good idea to draw out KINI's movements or try playing the code. That way, you can understand how each of the blocks impacts the code. You can try out this same code, and you can even try changing it by adding, customizing, and getting rid of blocks to get a new outcome. As a challenge, instead of making KINI go forwards and to the left, try making KINI move backwards and to the left or backwards and to the right. You can change elements of this code or add new blocks to do so. Now that you've learned about outcomes, make sure each time you code with KINI, try to think of the outcome first and then use the blocks to make that outcome happen. Whether you can picture KINI's movements in your head or you visually would like to draw out KINI's movements, you can always plan to code given a starting outcome. Good luck, everyone, and have fun coding with outcomes.